If you're gay, then you're gay. Don't pretend that you're straight. You could be who you are any day of the week.
Lonely, lonely, so you think that you know me. You're the only one who knows who I am. I decided tonight that breaking all the chains on my lonely perfection. Could it be that easy to let it all go? Everything you see of me is always good. Everything you think is perfect. Is always good. Many times, won't let my feelings show. Everything you see of me. Human after all, you know I'm just human after all. Slowly, slowly, I'm okay, revealing scars from sleep. I would be proud in the end. I decided tonight that I'm lazy, so much down on the art of perception. Could it be that easy to let it all go? Everything you see, the is always good. Everything you think is perfect. Be a superwoman now, that's over. I'm a lover, baby, I'm a soldier. Doesn't mean that I could be everything for you. I used to be a superwoman now, that's over. Everything you see, the is always good. Everything you think is perfect. Is always good. Many times, won't let my feelings show. Everything you see, the is always good.
Hey, what's up, you guys? Sonic1245 here. Welcome back to GSA Forever. That song is "Human" by Cheryl Lloyd, and that's off. Sorry, I'm late. So yes, in the last chapter, chapter 31, and the finale, apparently, Drake and Tyler spilled all of his heart, all of his feelings. He literally spilled out his heart because apparently he said maybe it was getting too full and he just needed to let it out. So, and yesterday I told you that we would be starting the new book, The Past Happens Now, sequel to What You Don't Know, and that's what we're going to do. So this is chapter 1, Summer Vacation or Not. As you might already know, this is a sequel to What You Don't Know. I highly recommend reading the first one so you get the right kind of background. Otherwise it will be a bit confusing, but if you don't want to read, you'll probably still enjoy the story, hopefully. And I hope you need to ask questions for certification, and then I won't stop you. Also, the picture of the main characters are in the first story, so if you could check those out, even though I probably put them in the story eventually. Anyways, I will be quiet now. Alright, here we go. After a few months later, summer vacation! Drake was throwing a dance party on his bed, jumping up and down, blasting his ears out, and ripping the heads off gummy worms. Yeah, that is what I woke to. Drake, I felt my eyes cracking up at the sight of him. It's not even summer vacation yet. He didn't seem to hear me. I sighed and rolled over, pulling the pillow over my head. That squeaking of the bed stopped, and it sounded like he had plopped down on it. What did you just say? Devastation lingered in his voice. I rolled back over and sat up. We still have a week. I smiled at him, and he shook his head in disappointment. It's okay. It'll come sooner than you think, and don't worry about it, I said. And he smiled, but looked down. What? I asked when Drake looked down. He was thinking about something. I don't know where I'm going. I mean, I don't know if I should go see my dad or what. I don't know even if he wants to talk. I don't even know if I even want to talk to him yet. I looked back up at him for He looked back up at me for answers. Well, you're always welcome to come back to my place. You should talk to your dad or see him if you want. Just don't do anything you're not ready for, but I can be your backup if you would like. I swung my legs over and stood up, walking over to my dresser. I know, he nodded. Then he looked up like some idea suddenly hit him. Wait, I can stay with you? Really? He beamed at me. Yeah, of course, my family loves you. I smiled and pulled a hoodie over my head. And so do I. So I don't see why he wouldn't be welcome. I felt my cheeks get slightly warmer. Yes, he said pumpkiness. Wait, are you cold? He laughed. I looked myself up and down in the back of him, and I realized that I was in shorts and a tank top, and I was bundled up in sweatpants, and now a hoodie. Drake grinned widely, shaking his head. You know, Jay, I can turn the heat on if you want, but it's kind of 80 degrees outside. He smiled at me and laughed a bit. Stop it, you're such a meanie, I frowned playfully, taking my hoodie off. There, happy? A smile grew across his face with a, hey, what a brilliant idea. I'm much warmer with that hoodie. Come here, he extended an arm, and I raised an eyebrow at him. I couldn't hold my smile back any longer. I walked over him and sat next to him on his bed, which he had already made perfectly. He slid an arm around my waist and kissed my cheek, and that made me blush every time. I stared at my lab and attempting to hide my cheeks, even though it was a useless effort. So, if you do meet him or talk to him, what are you going to say? I glanced up at him. He was struggling to open a new bag of gummy words one-handed as he kept the other on my waist. I took the bag from him and started opening it, smiling and waiting for him to put his thoughts about the question into words. Well, I wouldn't tell him he sucks as a parent and a husband, and that he should go to hell, and Drake? I frowned. I was just kidding. He smiled at me, poking my frown. Let's see. If I were to talk to him, I guess I just ask him how he was, what job he has, if he's met another woman, and if he thinks about me. The thoughtful look remained on his face, so I nodded away for more. He shifted down the bed and his expression turned slightly more serious. I'd want to know why he was terrible to Mom and why he won't admit it to Aaron. His head dropped a little, and then he looked at his lab, then back at me. Maybe he's just sorry that he doesn't want to deal with regretting it. First, he lost his wife, and he already lost you, Drake. You shut him out because you haven't forgiven him yet, right? He nodded, so he's probably afraid he'll lose Aaron, too. I tilted my head to the side and get a glimpse of him. He was nodding slowly. I never really thought about it that way. Honestly, I suppose it'd be sucky to do something wrong and lose your family because of it. He looked up at me and saw me trying not to smile. You can laugh at my use of sucky. It's okay. He smiled back at me. You know what? He said, taking one of my hands. I'm gonna talk to him. I can go over to his place tomorrow. He gave a small hug. Are you sure you didn't want him doing anything too soon? It's Saturday, though. So I'll make sure I'm back to spend time with you, he smiled, kissing my cheek. That's not why I was asking, but I'm not going to complain, I smiled back, feeling my cheeks getting warmer from his kiss. I noticed this time he lightly let go of my hand and began to stroke my cheek, smiling at me when I bit my lip. Why do you ask if I'm sure then? I just want you to be safe, and stop that. I laughed a little, grabbing his hand from my face, and he chuckled and interlaced his fingers with mine. I'll be safe, I promise, he smiled. If something happens, I'll tell you right away. Maybe. I looked at him, worried, when he said maybe. Okay, he rolled his eyes and grinned. I'll tell you if something happens, but you don't need to worry about me. I shook my head. You said that before, you know. And then you confess all these things that made me wish I would have worried more, I sighed. I'm going to try to get better at it, okay? I'm sorry. It's easier just to belittle my problems and be happy, he smiled. Well, you can still be happy. You have to tell me not so happy things too, I smiled back. Oh, so now you have rules, he grinned. I'm kidding, babe. His grin grew when I started getting red. I won't torture you with more embarrassment, he said, poking my cheek, but I do think we should go get some breakfast, he stood up. I'll take you out, okay? We have time since I woke up kind of early. Sorry about that, by the way, he smiled. I laughed. I know you're not sorry, he chuckled. And I, you know what? You're right. Oh my gosh, that's too funny. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this chapter. And I hope you guys enjoyed the first chapter of the sequel because it's kind of funny. And I think this is actually going to be a really good book. Because I actually enjoyed what you don't know. I read maybe the first chapter and I didn't really feel it, but I actually kind of like this book because it's kind of funny and hilarious. So yeah, I hope you guys have a great day. And until next time, gay is okay, just ask the GSA. Mwah!